Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FMLFPL on.
It's Walsh.
So, episode 499.
Is that this one?
That's this one.
Wow.
Gavi Enthusiast said, how are you planning to celebrate episode 500 milestone?
Nothing.
I got nothing. I want...
by just doing a regular
I
thing.
want to do something fun and funny, but I don't know. Any suggestions? Don't know.
Well, the game preempted our celebration, I think, by giving me a celebration.
What do you mean? Tell me more.
Where else could we begin but not for young Carl Rushworth price dropping today?
I cannot believe it. I actually cannot believe it. Is it Dom he's been sold 10 million times this season and not price drop? Carl Rushworth not even in the fucking league. On the bench for one game and drops.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. He's literally owned by 0.0%. And
he's only owned by Mrs. Rushworth.
And me. The transfers out are like he had many? 66.
How is it even possible?
66 transfers out last. There are literally 11 million players in the game, and if 60 people transfer, it's like
that is
what
so
the fuck
fucked.
is going on? I mean, the joke's on them because you only price drop if you sell. I'm never selling Carl.
Yeah, Carl is never selling.
Carl is a fixture in my team, so he could price drop 3.8 million and go down to 0.1 million, and he didn't lose any value in my team. But
it is fascinating just looking ridiculous. At his transfers. Also, like, who are these people? 66 out this week, 103 last week, 78, 136, 100. Every week he gets transferred out by 100 people, random in the world.
Yeah, I mean, they're all perverted sickos like me who bought him, I think, for
and sold him a wild card or something.
Yeah, they're just wild carding and they don't want to keep their loaned. You know, they're not the hodlers. They're the weak, not diamond handsing people. And then it just...
Well, let's call it what it is. They played their chip. They sold their keeper. Gained a little money. Yeah.
It's just so upsetting.
Yeah. Fucking
so
hell.
Carl's 3.9, and that's the biggest deal.
Shout out to FPL in episode 500 right there.
They had to just been like, oh, this fucking dickhead. Funny. This dickhead owns Carl Rushworth. Let's get him.
If there's any conspiracy that's obviously true, it's against us.
It's the Carl Rush. Yeah.
It's the anti-FMLFPL.
And he was also recalled on his loan, I think, for like 4 days before they actually changed his status from not being a Hull City player. The fucking intern, whoever manages this shit.
Yeah.
The first day he's available, price drop.
Look at this guy.
He went from like 1,000 owners to 944 owners. So it's like
fucking unreal.
Kill.
Here's the good news. He might start next game because they conceded 7 goals. So maybe you have a good player on your bench. I don't know.
Yeah, it was insane actually when I was listening to the last Friday show and he said Bart is like 22. Did you know
Bart's
that?
so young. I knew that.
I just assumed he was 26 or something like a normal person age. But
I mean, he's shocking is Ortega's 10 years older than him. Ortega's older than Ederson.
See, that's not shocking to me. He looks like he's 40. Carl Rushworth, though, is definitely not 22. He's probably 16.
He doesn't even have an ID. Yeah,
he doesn't have pubis. Yeah, he does not even. He doesn't even have any pubis. This is ridiculous.
All right, tell me about Team Walsh this week.
Yeah, just another week, another comings and goings of things.
We both asked, man. I guess people don't know that because the second double hat wasn't announced on the last Monday pod, right? So that all happened on fucking Friday. Well, it wasn't my favorite thing in the world. Yeah.
It wasn't even out for My Life, which was very, we usually have a few My Life, post My Life, pre whatever news of the season that happens, and this was one of them. But
yeah,
it was just the most obvious thing ever. So I just did Holland to Gakpo, and got slot. I needed money, and it was the only real place I could do it.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit upset with myself that I didn't get Isak out instead of Haaland, just because I've been kind of with the shtick of Haaland for so long.
Yeah. And you were kind of feeling Isak out. I mean, you were floating.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
And it was just like this. We can't condone this, and I didn't do it. But I'll probably get Haaland back in really soon.
Yeah, there's a time when their fixtures change. But yeah, I mean, I think both of us were also in the, I guess, unique-ish situation based on, our live stream and stuff where I only had 2 Liverpool players. You only had 1 Liverpool player. So not getting slot for us was just like not even an option. I mean, it's just so easy to get slot for maybe 5 games minimum, a double minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we both just ripped that.
What about you? You're doing good.
Yeah, I'm on 88. So far so good. Easy Pickford assist, obviously. Cleans out my ass. Even Agbadu. Agbadu on my bench. I have so many cleans on my bench between Milankovic and other randos over the course of the season. But I subtracted 17-point Chris Wood from my team, so I could have been flying even harder. I would have been over 100.
Yeah, but not your finest.
I got max punished.
Yeah.
At the time, I was just like, oh my fucking God, the doom and gloom of FPL. I'm so fucking stupid. What a fucking nightmare. And then it's just like, is what it is. I'm still on a green. I'm still doing well. He got his second, maybe hat trick of his life. It's fucking Chris Wood. They scored 7 goals for Brighton. Like, I don't know. Once in a blue moon. Happens. Shit happens. I'm still doing good. Team's still good.
You didn't foresee Brenham nil, Spuds 1.
Yeah, Wissa got a bunch of chances.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I know. Wissa got a bunch of chances, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe Villa will get the double, and Rodgers will be good, and we'll see. But it's a weird pod because we're in the middle of a game week that doesn't end for fucking 10 more days. Bonus points aren't even final for 10 days.
They're never going to be final.
Good game design there.
Yeah.
So there's no league updates. There's nothing like that. And let's just talk about some games, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think we need to start. Whatever. I think we need to start with our biggest miss of the weekend, right?
Which is what?
Moyes.
Everton 4, Leicester 0.
How are we so stupid? Why were we so wrong and everyone else was so right? What? Dissect, please.
Well, I was
teach me, Sensei.
Less anti-Moyes than you were in the DMs. In very specific...
Is that hard?
It's not hard to complete that. But in situations where people were tripled up on Liverpool, with Gakpo being their third, instead of like people with like Allison or whatever, I was very much like, yeah, fine. Do this. You'll change Moyes 100% next week. You have a bunch of frees. You have money, whatever that situation. Obviously, it worked out incredibly well. Moyes got what, 12 or something?
12.
Yeah, 12. But Jesus Christ. I mean, I was talking to LR about his team, and if he was going to go Moyes or triple cap Mo. And I was very much on I think you should triple cap Mo. Maybe Assman next week. Maybe Assman later. Whatever. But a bit where in our arguments, we discovered that the difference in our opinion wasn't the Liverpool game. It was actually the Leicester game, where I thought Everton, Leicester, they might win. Gambling odds had it maybe 50% win, but they could draw. They could lose. They're bad. Leicester are obviously very bad, but I thought it would be a close-ish game, whatever. 5 minutes later, Everton already up 2-0, and it's the biggest. I mean, I didn't watch the game live, but the highlights could have been 6-0, could have been 7-0, could have got a pen. It was a complete fucking joke of a game.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
No, didn't see it coming. I mean, I don't know if it's just they're in fine fettle and their tails are up because they have, someone who at least has some idea of what to do with manager. I mean, maybe Deitch is really just bad, but Leicester, I don't know if they're just really hitting a new low point.
It's crazy.
I mean, we knew their defenders were bad. We knew that they're a bottom 3 team, but like the difference between this was like you're picking a team that's going to finish like maybe 15th against a relegation team.
Yeah.
And that to me is just not a bet I want to really make.
Right.
And it was really that simple to me where it's, but then the game transpires and it's like, holy shit, it's not competitive. It's really just laughable. And it was even more unreasonable to me because they just played pretty well and beat Spurs. Yeah. So, I mean, how is that the follow-up performance? It just confounds me to no end.
It turns out the way to beat them is my shout out to American Youth Soccer. My ASO kickoff routine is the key to unlocking Rude's foxes. You fucking rubber band it from the kickoff deep. All the forwards run forward and Pickford launches the ball 90 yards and that just undoes their entire defense.
They did that
again with Tarko, and they did it again with Garner, and all of them led to monster chances, not like headers, like sitters. And it was just like, this is hilarious. I mean, wow, Fash. I mean, we talk about scene of the crime a lot. And, obviously like Rico and Kyle Walker, they make the scene of the crime 11 for the season. Wow, Fash is like a career scene of the crime legend at this point. These captains aside, it's like
he's the worst center back in the league.
Everything he does leads to an opponent goal somehow.
He's worse than Bednarek, as far as I'm concerned. He's the worst center back in the league, and he plays so many minutes. It's absolutely wild.
I think
how he ever even got minutes for his international team. And
he starts for Belgium.
Yeah, he's not at like the Republic of Ghana or something, or like the secondary Ghana country or some fucking Eritrea in Africa. Like he's in Belgium. He fucking has more than 0 caps. It's insane.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Moyes doing the thing. I just also was looking at Everton, thinking, no DCL. Yep.
That was another thing, right?
Still no McNeil. Mangala's hurt. I mean, they're like fucking really hurt, and like they're going to play Beto, who looks like he has 2 left feet and can't ever score goals in any imaginable scenario. Yeah. And they just 4-0 could have been more. It's unreal.
I don't think even Everton fans believed Beto could ever score. I mean, he was like a joke. It was already determined, like, he's a bust, he's a joke, and then boom, he looked so calm and good. I don't know. Moyes just gave him a kiss and a hug and boosted his confidence.
So I mean, if you picked Moyes, the business is already done, and he'll probably get somewhere between 0 and 2 points against Liverpool. And then you transfer him, I suppose, to some doubler next week.
Yeah.
I mean, I still go back and look at the process, and I still think, even though they were happy to get 12 points, and look, they could do something insane and draw Liverpool or something, and then it was the best
decision ever.
Then we're really fucked. But assuming they just lose, like everyone in the world expects them to do against Liverpool, I still think that it just wasn't the correct thing to do, even though you're getting points off of it.
I mean, and process, I think a lot of this will sound like just bias, but even if you just use the unbiased gambling odds, it was a 50% win. Like, I want a 70% win. If I'm picking a guy who's not getting the underdog bonus, which obviously Everton, Leicester's not getting the underdog bonus, I want 65, 70% win. I want everyone in the world and the gambling markets and everything to think this team's going to win by a goal and a half kind of numbers. I don't want, like, hopefully Beto scores his 1v1, that's not what I want to rely on. But obviously it works. So kudos to everyone, who went. Some people own Beto, own and die. I have Pickford. People have fucking...
Pickford assist. Come on.
Ridiculous. Everything's ridiculous. But I mean, it's interesting to look at the ass mint points. It's like half the managers got 8 to 10 to 11, 12, 15, 18, 20. And the other half got 1 or 0.
If you don't win, you're not getting points. Like, you're having a bad time.
Were there no fucking draws this week? There were actually no draws.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the draws really have to be the underdog bonus draws for you to get anything out of it.
Really
like you're
haul,
barely,
yeah,
like you're barely getting any. Like if Slot draws against fucking Everton this week, it's and he gets like 4 points. It's like again, that's not what we're here for.
Yeah, but it's pretty incredible that everyone got either 1 or 0. I guess there were a lot of cleans and no draws, and the highest scoring manager of the week was fucking Vitor Manuel de Oliveira Lopez Pereira. Yeah, easy 2-0 win.
Easy underdog 2-0. Everything's coming up. Yeah, easy. That was an easy one. We all should have been on that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the power of the underdog. It's just the power of being able to predict that is, you have to be Nostradamus, basically.
You have to have your underdog team playing against Aston Villa after a Champions League game, and you will hit the thing. And they have, I think, lost every game.
Every Champions League post. Yeah,
post Champions League. So, that's
now that they have fucking Trashford and, they're getting guys, they're going to be fine.
Rashford and Asensio and Malen, I'm so confused. They're just getting fucking confused.
Everyone's leftover condoms.
Who also get like 300K in wages or something. Yeah. I don't really understand.
They're up to, maybe these are the 3 players to replace Jack Grealish.
There we go. Oh, these are the 3. They finally did it.
It wasn't before it's the 3, but it's these 3.
It wasn't Buendia, Bailey, and
Diaby.
Was he the 3rd?
I don't know.
No, Diaby came later.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't remember the 3rd. Must have been someone bad.
Who cares? Who fucking cares?
I do. It's funny.
Onana or some idiot. It's irrelevant.
I mean that kind of covers Yarborg's question, which was, now that you're both cheeked up, what's your take on the ass man experience? I mean, with Slot, it just felt even better than normal to get the win for me as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to me, and it was just I do expect, if not a win to nil, a win by multiple goals. So, I mean, we're going to be looking at this most likely sitting with, around
close
20
to 20
points.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
It's just such a
completely
fucking
bonkers
joke. That they introduce something like this that's so egregiously lopsided compared to the other chips. It's just,
and the amount of live streamers, which means, I'm sure millions of other people who were just like earlier in the week on Thursday did like Raya to Allison or did their forward to Gakpo or whatever. And then the shit gets announced on Friday and they can't even get Slot. I have to take an extra hit.
It's just a little, what's a minus 4 click?
So fucking disrespectful to the players of your game.
Yeah, it feels bad. Well, I mean, they didn't do it. Like that was all schedule related. That wasn't just FPL. It just happened to coincide with the introduction of this joke, mockery, mystery chip kind of thing. But
by the way, I looked up the third part of the Jack Triforce. I knew it was someone good.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Danny Ings.
Of course it was Dings. Forgot, of course.
Had to bring in Dinger.
Yeah, Dings. And they went from claret to claret to claret.
Yeah, he's just
Burnley to Villa
he scored one
Western.
goal in like 5 years, maybe.
It's all claret all the time.
Unbelievable.
I mean, and it's just every year. I mean, look, we've been playing this game for a long time, and it is unrecognizable from the game that we started playing.
Very much so.
12 years ago, or however many years ago it was, over 10 years ago. But it's so disenchanting that they only do things to just get more clicks and to have people like have to do more actions to refresh the website to get advertising clicks. Like that's literally the driving force behind what they do and the choices they make to update in air quotes the game.
It's not just advertising. I think a big part of this is social media too.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's just
same thing. Yeah.
They had a whole fucking announcement video ready to go on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all this shit. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
and then they don't even have the picture of the managers for all 20.
They don't even have the picture.
They have like a fucking AI, like VAR guy, like clone thing when they go through the wall. VAR, like that's the picture.
The assisted offside or whatever.
They have their TikTok, Twitter, live stream splatter, whatever they're called, but they don't actually do it in the. It's just all these things. It's just it's just disenchanting.
Yeah.
It's upsetting, but what are you gonna do?
Let's talk about the other big game, Arsenal Man City.
Yeah. Well,
so I didn't watch it live, but I watched it back.
Yeah. It was not competitive.
But it was also very much not what I expected, which I think is an interesting perspective when you know the result of a game and then watch it later. Sometimes that happens. I see 5-1. I was checking in on Discord on my phone. I'm out and about. And everyone's just going fucking bananas. Arsenal fans frothing at the mouth. Best night of their lives. And then it's like, okay, I'm expecting a complete fucking bloodbath. Arsenal are going to have 25 shots and 3.5 XG and probably a pen. And that's not at all what happened either. It was just like a million City mistakes and all these deflections. It was very weird. It was really weird.
I mean, yes and no. I think, yes, it wasn't just a complete, 75% possession or something like that.
Yeah.
But Arteta could have sat back and done the thing where it's like, we'll kill the game and we're better than them and we'll win. Like,
he did in the first half, and I think that's part of why I felt weird because
I don't think 20
they did minutes in the first half, nothing happened. City just had the ball, and Arsenal just sat back and was like, okay, I guess I don't know. When are they going to score 5? Me as a viewer, I'm just like, when are they going to attack and score 5? Because they're parking right now.
They did the thing though where they were, had condensed, banks, but when they pressed, they went all out, like
when
real
they broke,
high risk, like very intense press. And, they clearly saw that, the City players, this iteration of City cannot cope with that type of intense press and pressure. And it worked repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. So, I think it was just, credit to Arteta, honestly. Like, he just kind of masterclassed. And, look, Raya made a couple really huge saves early on that could have changed the tilt of the game if City had a couple goals early or something like that. But I just felt like the Arsenal plan and, like, the just sticking with it, this game was only going to go one way. Like it's and we just all we do all season is watching City defend. They're bad. All we've done all season is watch them having to defend, and anytime they have to defend, they just give up huge chances. Like I'm sorry, I don't know exactly why or what their malfunction is, but they drop off too much, and there's just space at the edge of the box, at the top of the box. They just don't know how to do anything. And they can't
ramp up the attack without also conceding even bigger chances. Because they have no press. They have no one to win the ball back. And maybe this new guy they bought, maybe he's going to be a fucking god or whatever. But right now, it was just like, that's what happened in the second half, right? It was like City are trying to build up, trying to, take control of the game. And every single time they won the ball back, Arsenal won the ball back, or a City player passed to an Arsenal player in the fucking defensive third, it just led to like a monster chance or a deflected goal or like, whatever, something like that.
Yeah. And, the other thing too, we obviously do not think highly of Ruben, but they clearly miss him. As much as he can't turn, he can organize and play, little diags and, move the defense.
Block a shot.
He's the one that organizes the defense, and Ake's out, so all of a sudden a lot more is on Akanji's shoulders, and he's probably more of like, he needs to be the second center back, not the main one. Stones barely plays. They just have all these. Gvard is but that's a whole postmortem thing of who is Gvardiol. I don't even know.
All I think about every time he gives a goal away, which happens literally every single game.
Every game.
It's that Gary Neville Carragher clip where Neville puts him in his team of the season, best left back in the league. And Carragher just pisses himself. He's like, he gives away a goal a game. What are you talking about?
He does, but he also looks good for two on his own shoulders a game on the other end. Somehow it's like he's the best winger in the world.
But it's just crazy.
He's the best left winger in the game in the season, not the left back. But
yes, exactly.
They're just so dysfunctional. City are so dysfunctional.
And I'm glad, like, I was ranting hard about this when it came to Isak and Gordon on the live stream because a lot of people wanted to sell. And I was like, dude, I'm telling you that away City game next week, That's like the game we're keeping them for is that fucking game. That's where they can score 3+ more than the Fulham game. After that, they have NFL and Liverpool, like fine to sell there, but the at City game, that's the whole reason I'm keeping them. So, it played out that way. I hope it maintains, unless, Nico Gonzalez is a fucking legend god Rodri, but he's probably not.
Or if he is, it probably won't show it on his little first day in the office.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was a game that happened.
Yeah. Well, what about your team's game? Was a big game.
That was a crazy game too. Yeah. That was a really fun game. We didn't even talk about
an NFO 7, right? No,
I know. I mentioned it in the wood segment, but yeah, there were a bunch of crazy games. That also feels like a very long time ago to me. It
was
NFO Brighton game. Yeah. Yeah. Liverpool Bournemouth. I mean, the pen was fortunate, but also like a very obvious pen. I was surprised that people's take were like soft pen, like, oh, bullshit.
I think it just looked so. It was just out of nothing.
Yeah, totally out of nothing. It was a huge mistake by a right back who doesn't play right back, and it was just like
by a midfielder. Yeah, he tripped him.
But man, that I don't know what it was, 10, 15 minutes after halftime, Bournemouth were fucking out of control. Like, I was shitting myself in that period because it really felt like a goal was coming.
Well, obviously, they hit the post and the bar like multiple times.
Yeah,
right?
He hit the Semenyo hit the post in the first half. Tavernier hit the post in the second half, which led to that rebound, open net, Clive chance.
Miss, yeah.
But then I think
Semenyo's nuts. The power, it's just nuts.
It's really
fastball.
Crazy.
He just throws it 100.
He just can't fucking locate.
Yeah, he just put head down, blast it,
walks 10 batters per 9, strikes out 10 batters per 9 kind of guy. But yeah, I mean, I thought Bournemouth were everything I expected. They're fucking great. Their press is great. Their players are great. Their manager's great. Liverpool were just slightly greater. And Mo's goal was absolutely insane. I thought Mo played one of his better games in a month. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He created absolutely everything they did. Obviously scored the pen, scored the worldie. He was just like insane. And he was really the difference, honestly. I mean,
yeah. He was the game breaker.
Yeah. Good ass game though. I fucking love Bournemouth. I mean, they're just so fun to watch and so cool.
Yeah.
And their fixtures are going nuts right now. Actually, we have some Bournemouth questions because of the fixtures. So,
okay.
What is it right now? It's okay. Southampton, Wolves, Brighton, Spurs, Brentford, Ipswich, West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Man United before they have a hard game in game week 35 at Arsenal.
Yeah.
So Dr. Brad said Kluivert's obviously the best piss hair replacement, right? Jeff D said Bruno or Gordon to Clive. And then Shiv said, who do you like better between Clive and Django? It's still Clive, right?
Yeah, it's definitely Clive. I mean, you take the pens, and he's also just playing 90 now, and he's like the main man. Django's definitely a good pick. I mean, Semenyo, I don't think you can ignore completely, but it's hard for me to imagine picking him over Django.
I agree. Even though he was way more lively against Liverpool and way more shots and way more XG and all that stuff, it just, I think also we have scars. We have Semenyo shaped scars on our bodies.
We do.
Of 10 weeks of 0 returns. And it's just...
Yeah. 1 return in 10 weeks. And now he's been returning a little bit more regularly, but
he's still mostly shooting from Semenyo land, which is replaced Paul land. And he hits it fucking hard. And then it goes a yard wide. And I'm like, I've seen this happen 50 times already this season.
Yeah, I think just from the positional standpoint too, I mean, he's clearly playing wing and also sometimes just midfield, like 8. Yeah. And he's not even there when they're attacking. Yeah, he's doing a lot of defensive work. So, when they have sustained he's involved. But with Django, he's just the center guy. And, there are some games where he does do a little bit, like, we've seen him play a few striker games where he, like the Liverpool game, he was not very involved. He was doing a lot more hold up stuff and, running channels and, that kind of, the more dogged striker work, but he's striker and, he's 5
he scored a hat trick a week ago,
2 games ago. Yeah. So 5 million out of position striker on a top 6 team. I mean, we don't need to really spend too much time talking about that is a pick And, we have the deadline just came and went and they didn't fucking do anything.
They actually bought a striker and my heart dropped, but it was they bought him and loaned him back to the team he was already at in Lorient. Right. So I was like, oh, Django's good to go. They're good to go. They're the best.
Yeah. And so, I do agree that he is the best Pisser replacement. If you're looking at like a 7-5 and under, I think, Clivert 1, Django 2. I think the fixture run. The fixture run as you just, the fixtures as you just described. It's just,
but I would not sell Gordon this week, personally. I know Southampton, but City, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Sometimes the eye test just comes true. And I've watched their last like 5 games, and every game, like, they are an absolute fucking joke and can't defend at all. And it finally came through.
I'm a little bit less like, you seem to think he's like double returning against City. I hope he gets a return and I would be happy with that. But if you want to sell him, I'm not like, that's crazy. I think it's totally fine to do if you need money or whatever. It's not, it's still not a good fixture. And,
I think it is a good fixture. That's where we differ. I think it's a good attacking fixture.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. If it was home, I would say it's good. I still feel like away is just like a little, I don't know. Because they like City could just beat them 3-1. I'd be like, oh yeah, like Newcastle kind of suck. Like I just watched them do nothing against Fulham at home, like barely.
Of course it could happen, but they did just beat Chelsea 3-1, right? City, but like first 30 minutes, Chelsea should have been up 3-0. That's what I'm relying more on. And anything could happen. They can miss their chances. What happened against fucking Fulham? Isak hit the bar, Tonali hit the bar.
They should have won that
missed
game.
The sitter, like all of these things.
Gordon and Gordon, I don't know, it probably won't show up on the stats, but he was really close to points a lot. His final balls were just terrible. His final third play was so bad. And
he had the fine ghost assist for the Murphy goal. Like, that was intended target, fucking dick over here, bullshit. Dick over there. Shit.
Yeah. Just a dick over here, dick over there. Yeah. Yeah, no, Gordon's good, but all of the Bournemouth players. I'm sitting here with my 2 Bournemouth, and I definitely want to add a third.
Definitely want 3. Yeah. That'll come for me soon. Bolter's question, is City washed, is just like, how much washing would a wash do if a wash could wash? Like, they're done. They're fighting for Champions League.
They're washing up liquid. Nothing more, nothing less. They're probably going to get disassembled by Real, and then they're going to just come back with all these random new players that they just bought, and none of them speak English or anything, and they'll barely stumble and function to probably like 4th place this year, right? That's their direction.
Yeah. 3rd or 4th or maybe even 5th if that counts as a Champions League. Yeah.
They'll probably win most of the games for the rest of the season and do so sometimes convincingly and sometimes by the skin of their teeth. They'll probably lose 5 more games for the rest of the season. That's all they'll finishing blow 4th leads, isn't that hard.
Which is what they do.
They'll concede 3 goals in some games. They'll probably lose some random game like, at Everton or something. Or
I was looking at the exact same picture at Everton. Like, you're fucking losing that game. Like some stupid fucking. You know what works against City? Pickford and Tarko dropping bombs on them to Beto and Doucouré. Rinse and repeat.
Beto is just taking them apart. Yeah.
Norberto
Beto.
It's a weird pod. We're not gonna do a Friday My Life on Thursday. We're not going to do a live stream on Friday because there's no Prem games this weekend. And then we are going to do another pod on Monday because then we'll have all the double information and all that shit. But this game week still won't even fucking be over because the schedule. It's kind of a weird pod, but
we'll see next Wednesday is the Darb. And Trent, the injury. Who
knows?
It looked like it was way worse during the game, then it seems like it's been reported after the game. I thought I was like, he's out for a few weeks kind of thing. 2
weeks or something. Yeah, he's just holding his hamstring.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's not that bad, but who knows? They just lie. But I would be surprised if he played the Everton game, right? Wouldn't you?
Me too. Yeah, there's 0% chance I think he plays cup games. Maybe he's on the bench for the second one. That would be a very good sign for the Derby, but probably not.
Yeah.
And then we just have no idea for the Everton game.
Yeah, Bradley looked really good when he came on.
Yeah, Bradley's good. What other games are there? We barely even got questions. I mean, I was just pushing questions back to like, we'll do it next pod. We don't know the doubles, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I mean, Spurs had a surprise win. I mean, Brent Hammer just such a insane team to try and determine like when are they going to show up and when are they not. They've just been all over so inconsistent, I feel like, right?
Yeah, so inconsistent. And Damsgaard still got a bone, and Wissa could have scored, and Bumo played okay. And I don't know, Spurs get kind of against the run of play, own goal and win the game. I don't know. Sure, happens, I guess. It usually doesn't happen to Spurs, to be fair. Brentford would usually just win this game, but teams can get lucky sometimes and get wins. So I still feel okay with Wissa, and I still feel very okay with Bumo. Not looking to change those players at all.
Yeah, you're looking at the next few games. I guess I don't know. Yeah, at West Ham suddenly doesn't look great to me. Like, they just park so convinced. Like all they do is park. They just have they have deep banks. They don't leave their half, like all 11 players in their own half the whole game. So I think that's just all of a sudden a pretty bad attacking fixture.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And, Leicester you're going to have to make hay while the sun shines with that game, right?
Yeah.
A lot of stress on that one.
Yeah, and I've been duped before by thinking, oh, maybe I'll get rid of Bumo when they have bad fixtures, and I've gotten fucking
get
destroyed.
rid of Wissa. You get rid of Wissa instead.
I'll hold them for a bit.
All right,
I'm committed for a little bit at least.
Yeah, you got a few games you'll go for, and
he still got like 2 big chances versus Spurs.
Yeah, he had a good header, right? And
gets it every fucking game. He gets it.
Yeah, he does.
And Romero asked us, what criteria do players have to have or achieve to be given God status on your team sheets, aka Palm God,
Dip God,
Palm God? I was actually thinking, what else means God? Christopher Wood.
What?
Christ.
Oh, right. Is that really a thing?
That's what Christopher is. It's Christ.
Christ offer?
I don't know what offer means, but it's named after Jesus Christ, aka in their
Isn't
religion.
That like what about Christian? What about Christian?
Also God.
That's a bigger stand to God.
It's a more.
Christopher?
Put your cross in the ground. That's a God statement.
I never even
right
put
there.
the pieces together that Christopher, and then that was like a Christ-related name.
Yeah. So Chris Wood, technically God in his name.
I don't know. I don't like
and
that.
Mo and Palm and
I don't like that. No, yeah, it has to flow with the last name where you could chop off a syllable and just put God. Like it can't be a monosyllabic last name, and I think it doesn't work.
Be exactly 2 syllables, actually. I can't imagine a world where 3 syllable, you just put God in one of the syllables.
Yeah, like who's saying Semen God? Nobody.
Or some Gado. Some Gadio.
Yeah. But there are players that like if it flowed better, would have earned that name, like Ozil or Kevin or something. Like if their names were different, it's like those are the kind of players that we have like emotional infatuation loves with. Like there has to be something like that going on. Yeah. It's a hard question to answer. Well, it's not the case with Palm God though at all, because he's just like, it's just such an inevitable. We make fun of him and his little like fucking chili celebration, all the stupid shit he does. He's like, seems like he's a brain dead moron,
complete idiot, which I love.
But it's not like we're like, oh, we love Paul. Like we don't fucking love him at all. Like,
but he's just Palm God.
He just gets hat tricks all the time and barely plays, so barely tries.
He jogs around, he floats around. Yeah, it's like we would never. Haaland could score fucking 10 hat tricks in a row, and I would never be like, oh my God, Hall God. Godland. It's like, it just doesn't roll off the tongue at all. And he's, he's such a dork and so ugly. It's like hard to call him a God. I don't know. We don't make the rules. We just live by them.
They just happen. They happen to us.
They happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of nicknames, this is very aside, but I love how Neil Atkinson's, when they're talking about City, I don't know if you've noticed this, he always says Savio or Savinho when he's talking about the player. He's just like completely accepting that, like, I have no idea what this guy's actual name is, but
he just goes back and forth based on the episode.
He literally says Savio or Savinho.
Oh, when he refers to
he's like, Savio or Savinho is playing really well. I'm like, what? Stop saying that. It's so ridiculous.
I have to listen for that.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's good. That's funny.
Yeah. Man, slow pod though. I don't know what else to talk about.
Yeah,
honestly.
we're recapping.
I mean, your team did the job.
We're out here recapping.
Easy win. Man United were favorites at Old Trafford. Very funny.
He's trying to get fired.
No reason why.
That's all I'm on.
I mean, no center forward, Manu false nine.
He's just trying to get fired.
What the actual fuck are they up to?
Hopefully, Alessandro Martinez never plays in the Premier League again.
Would love that.
Would love that. It's possible.
Yep.
It's possible.
Yeah, they're a complete fucking joke, this team. I wish they were higher in the table so I could underdog them, but I think they're too low.
They're too low.
Impossible to underdog.
Can't
underdog.
You
go flat manager.
Pick Scott Parker.
Yeah, exactly. He might get an underdog bonus. So Ask Man next week. I mean, that'll be fun to talk about on next pod when we know the doubles and
Liverpool,
shit.
Unless Liverpool win, there's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about, but there will be for all the Moyes heads.
Yeah.
It'll be trying to figure out where the underdog bonuses could come from. I mean, Fulham are one of the potential doubles, and Fulham home NFO is just looking like that's a fucking delightful underdog swing to take.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, it's premature. We have to know what the fixtures are and look. Because, I mean, I am of the mind of, you just want to pick whoever plays 2 games. It almost doesn't matter who they're against. But I think maybe that's also just not correct. Like, you should, if you can earmark a game that you have some degree of confidence that there's going to be an underdog. I mean, versus, the double game week where you're, maybe the third game. Like, it's, if you're not going to want him for the third game and spend another transfer, like, I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to look at that. But I think that's one for next week.
Minimum 4 teams double next week, I think. So there'll definitely be options.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out next week.
Yeah.
I think that's about it for now, though. I mean, kind of a slow one.
All right.
Sleepy pod, kind of.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Don't blame us. Blame the fucking schedule makers. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah.
Let me slap asses. We did get new signups, and then we'll be back on Monday. Grant Parks, Leon, Bobby Hunley, Charles Keys. Yes, baby, get in there. Back-to-back short pods. We're not fucking being lazy. We're not doing that.
Is this someone charging us with
maybe people are going to get fucking mad.
Laziness?
Short pods. But nah, dude, I would love to pod if there was stuff to pod about. All right, dude, any last words?
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you in a fucking week. Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL. Sports page.com/FMLFPL. Subscribe, rate, review.